Golf. It's a game where you wear clothes you wouldn't be caught dead in anywhere else, spend thousands of dollars on metal sticks, and walk 5 miles just to get angry at a ball that doesn't even have the decency to move on its own. It's the only sport where you can work while actually being 4 drinks deep by noon. Today, golf is a billion-dollar industry. But how did a game that basically involves chasing a pebble through a field become the ultimate status symbol? Is it the skill? The scenery? Or is it just the only socially acceptable way to drink a beer in a motorized cart at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday? Let's find out. To understand golf, we have to go to 15th century Scotland. But forget the fancy grass. Back then, golf was basically just people hitting rocks into rabbit holes with crooked branches. Section 1. Scotland, the original hold my beer moment. And let's talk about the weather. Scotland is famous for rain that hits you sideways. Why would anyone do this? Well, historians won't tell you this, but I'm convinced it was the Scotch. You need a certain amount of liquid warmth to think, yeah, I'm gonna stand in this freezing gale and try to hit this rock. It got so popular that King James II had to ban it in 1457. Why? Because his soldiers were skipping archery practice to play golf. Imagine being an invading army and seeing the Scottish defenders practicing their putting instead of sharpening their swords. The king was basically the first angry wife in golf history, telling everyone to stop playing and come home to do their chores. But the ban failed. Why? Because the next king, James IV, actually tried the game and realized, oh, wait, this is actually kind of fun when you aren't the one getting shot with arrows. Once the king started playing, the country club vibe was born. Section 2. The invention of the rules. By the 1700s, golf needed rules because people were definitely cheating. The first 13 rules were written in 1744. One of the rules was that if your ball landed in water, you had to play it where it lied. Imagine trying to hit a ball out of a pond while wearing a 20-pound wool suit. This is also when we got the 19th hole. For those who don't know, the 19th hole is the bar. It's where you go to lie about how well you played. This is a crucial part of golf's popularity. If you play a bad game of basketball, you just feel bad. If you play a bad game of golf, you go to the clubhouse, have a cold drink, and suddenly that triple bogey feels like a learning experience. It's the only sport that rewards you for finishing. I lost $20 and 3 balls today, but this sandwich is great. That's the golf spirit. Section 3. The feathery and the evolution of pain. Let's talk equipment. Before the 1840s, they used featheries. These were leather pouches stuffed with enough boiled feathers to fill a top hat. They were expensive, they didn't fly straight, and if they got wet, they basically turned into soggy bean bags. Then came the gutta percha ball, made from dried tree sap. These were cheaper and tougher. Suddenly, the common man could afford to lose a ball in the woods. This is a huge reason for the popularity spike. If the equipment is expensive, it's a rich man's game. If the equipment is cheap sap, now the neighbors can play too. This also led to the invention of the dimple. People noticed that old, beat-up balls with scratches actually flew further than smooth ones. It's the only time in life where being covered in wrinkles actually makes you more athletic. Section 4. America, Prohibition, and the business of golf. Now we cross the pond to the USA. In the early 1900s, golf in America was for the super rich, the guys who owned the railroads and wore top hats. But then came the 1920s, also known as the era of Prohibition. For those who missed history class, the government banned alcohol. Now, if you're a guy in 1922 and you want to have a drink with your buddies without the police knocking on your door, where do you go? You go to the middle of a 200-acre private golf course. Golf became the ultimate loophole. It provided a private, quiet space where you could hide a flask in your golf bag and socialize. This is why so many business deals happen on the course. It's hard to lie to someone about a contract when you've both just seen each other miss a 2-foot putt and yell at a squirrel. It builds a weird kind of trust. Section 5. The Everyman Heroes, Arnie and the King of Cool. By the 1950s, everyone had a TV, and they needed something to watch on Sunday afternoons. Enter Arnold Palmer. Arnie didn't look like a stiff aristocrat. He looked like a guy who just finished fixing a tractor. He took big risks, smoked cigarettes on the fairway, and played with a go-for-broke style. He made golf look like a blue-collar sport. People started realizing that you didn't need a manor in Scotland to play. You just needed a set of clubs and a dream. And maybe a colorful polo shirt. Seriously, the 1970s golf fashion was a choice. It was the only time in history where men willingly dressed like a bowl of fruit salad. Before we get to the man who changed everything, Tiger Woods, I have to ask, have you subscribed yet? We're trying to reach more people than there are lost balls in the lake at TPC Sawgrass. Hit that like button too. It really helps the channel stay out of the rough. Section 6. The Tiger Effect and the Modern Boom. Then came 1997. Tiger Woods didn't just win the Masters, he destroyed it. He was younger, faster, and stronger than everyone else. Suddenly, golf wasn't just a hobby, it was an athletic pursuit. Tiger made it cool to go to the gym before you went to the course. Because of Tiger, prize money went through the roof, and kids who used to play basketball or baseball started picking up clubs. He turned golf into a global spectacle. And that leads us to right now. Why is it still growing? Because golf finally stopped taking itself so seriously. We have Topgolf now, which is basically a giant bowling alley with golf clubs and nachos. We have music on the course, we have GPS in the carts so you don't get lost looking for the bar. And we have a new generation that realizes golf is just a great excuse to be outside with your friends for 4 hours. So, why did golf become so popular? It's the perfect combination of history, technology, social connection, and the thrill of the one good shot. You can play 17 holes like an absolute disaster, but if you stick that approach shot close on the 18th, you'll be back next weekend. It's a game of honesty, patience, and occasionally, creative scorekeeping after a couple of transfusions at the turn. Whether you're a pro or someone who spends more time in the sand than a hermit crab, golf has a place for you. Thanks for hanging out with me. What's your favorite golf drink or your worst golf story? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out our other videos on sports history, and I'll see you at the 19th hole. Peace out, and keep it in the short grass.